Welcome to tutorial number 15. In this video, I'm going to try to describe how you can add your own custom components to OR, and for that I'll be using Notepad++, but as a text editor, but quite frankly any text editor will work. Okay, the components are actually stored in a file called ORC, Open Rockets Components, and the latest versions of Open Rocket use a database built by Dave Cook. And right here I'm showing you his database page, which contains all the information. I encourage you to go ahead and sign up with GitHub and and you can get this stuff on your own. But as you can see right here are the ORC, and here's a few of them right here. But you might want to use any of these as templates later on, because using the template and just modifying is a whole lot easier than trying to do this from scratch. But I mean, he's already got Estes and Apogee and Bluetooth, Top Flight, Semrock. So I encourage you to start with those. That would be the easiest thing to do. Um, OpenRock databases are stored internally in the jar file, and they're based on this Dave Cook's database. And the following stuff is supported. You can do transitions, nose cones, body tubes, launch lugs, centering rings, parachute, engine blocks. Okay, all this stuff is basically it's all the components of OR. And like I said, it's easier to use one of these ORCs as a template. Um, Okay, now we're going to start working on our ORC file. And this is a template that I've used a whole lot. And I basically just modified it to show you how it's done. So we'll go through each one of these components and I'll explain to you what's done. Here is a material uh, listing. And this is how you add different materials that you're going to want to use in your components. Okay, generally speaking, you don't really have to, but you can use whatever you want. But you can see here that I've created one that's paper, spiral, round, glassy, QQQ average. It's simply a name, QQQ average, and bulk. Now, the only thing that's important about this really is the word bulk here and the name here. Uh, the rest of this, density, and the word bulk here. It must be bulk there. There are other times, but they're not available to us on the outside. They're only available internally to Open Rocket. So don't try to use anything else. Okay. All right. So now here, we're going to do a transition. I'm going to spell a transition. The reason why I did this transition is it's actually a boat tail, because in Open Rocket, there you can't make a nose cone a boat tail, but you can make a transition a boat tail. And typically, when you make a boat tail, at least I do, is I'll put a Z at the end of the size, so I know that it's a boat tail. Okay, but here you can see here. Oh, I meant to do this too. Um, Q Q Q. Okay, and you can see that I put QQQ as a manufacturer, so you can tell I put it in. And the part number I put QQQ, you can find it there. In the description is QQQ, and I said I'm using QQQ average, which was basically this up here. Okay, and then you have all these things you can put in transition. That the mass unit in ounces was quarter of an ounce. Okay, and now here's the things that you typically do when you try to do the uh, when you actually specify in OR directly, you specify things like the shape, which is here is OGIF. Uh, it's a whether it's fill or not fill. No, this should be false. You don't want it to be false. Although I don't really think it makes a big difference one way or the other. But we're going to make it there. Okay, false for Phil. And here's the foreground, the, basically the left side, the right side, the shoulder, which is on the fore shoulder length, aft shoulder length, aft diameter. Um, okay, aft shoulder length here is because it's a boat tail, it has no shoulder length, but the diameter it'd be basically in this case we wanted to go from a 55 to a 20, so BT20. So that's what it is. And we said the overall length is 3 inches. So that's basically, you'll see this, we'll demonstrate. This transition is actually a boat tail. Okay, so now we got that one. That's how you do a boat tail. A transition would be the same thing, except you wouldn't make it zero here. You'd make it something else. Okay, that's how you do a nose cone. Again, I put myself as a manufacturer. I gave it a part number with QQQ in it, simply from so I could find it, and I put it in the description. And this is something you're going to see a lot. S is typical for the material type, so that's typical. You can use that for all yours if you want it. It's not filled in. It's a no give. And here's the outside diameter and the inside diameter. Oh, outside diameter and the shoulder diameter and the shoulder length. And we say the unit length is in inches, and we said it's 8 inches. Okay, that was one. Here's another one, and you notice that this one was a BT55, and so this is a 55A, and basically it's the same kind of thing. Da 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 da. Exactly the same thing, except this is only 6 inches. Okay, and it's a part number, and just for grins, uh, dude, what do we do up here for a part? Okay, we just leave that alone. We'll do this. Uh, just for giggles, we're gonna do Control C. This is in the description, so it makes no difference at all. But we'll do this anyway, just for giggles, and and we'll also put it in there. Okay, okay, just so I can make a distinction between this one and this one. Okay, those two nose cones, they were both BT55, and because I said they were 55, and it's based on this is a BT55 OD and this is an ID, so it was easy to do. And here's another nose cone. Oh, here's that second nose. Same kind of thing, exactly the same thing, except it's 6 inches long. Okay, now let's do a body tube. Again, I made myself a manufacturer. Put anybody you want in there, but I put me to make things easy to follow. Okay, I made myself, there's a BT 55 QQ, and I want to put 30Q in there. The third Q. Okay, okay, there, and you see, there, and you can see this is made for a BT50 because inside diameter, outside diameter. Okay, it's basically a 17 and 3/4 inch BT50 is what it says it is. Okay, okay, and then we have a that, and that basically ends it. And then we have here we have body tube, which is also a BT55 because of here and here, and we got 55. Oh, and this should be Control C. We're going to make this. This is in the description, so it really makes no difference. It's just what shows up so you can see it. So, because the part number is what it's really going to be keyed on. All right, same kind of thing. The body tube's 10 inches long. Okay. Okay. So this is a 55, and this one's 10 inches long. Okay, then we did something like a lawn slug. Lawn slugs are a lawn slug. I created a 3/8 inch lawn slug. And by the way, it looks as though I didn't pay attention to this inside and outside diameter because it should be, let's see, 3 divided by 8. Whoops. 3 divided by 8 would be 375. So the inside diameter has got to be around, oh, my guess would be mm, zero point 0.4. And the outside should be, we'll say, is going to be 410. Um, mm, okay, and I think 9 inches is kind of long. Let's make this. Let's make this 6 inches. Okay, 6. Okay, that's a launch slide. And I just created it because I could. All right, centering ring, which can be. This could be nice to be able to do because not all centering rings are available or the thicknesses you want. So this is a nice one, and I built this out of an Estes template. But you can see here that uh, okay, so you can see. Okay, so here's a centering ring. In this case, I'm going to make centering rings from BT 50 to 55, and I put QQQ, same for the manufacturer, and in the description I said 50 to 55, which is what I want, and added the QQQ to the description. Geotype bulk, okay, that's typical. There are other material types if you've seen, but that's what we're going to do. And here's the inside diameter 50, outside diameter 55, and then that gets your centering ring. Okay, parachute. Okay, let's see if we can get down a little bit here. We're going to do a parachute. All right, I based this one off of Top Flight because I wanted nylon. Okay, so I said here I identified it as me as a manufacturer and my part number, and I just described it here. And this material type is surface, okay, which is a little bit different than the bulk guide, but parachutes use surface. And you can see it says nylon fabric ripstop, 1.7 ounces actual, and the material. Okay, so there is actually a material type in there for this. I just don't have it included in this file. I don't need to, it already exists. All right, 6 sides, line count is 6. The length is, well, typical if you have a 15-inch parachute, you have 15-inch lines, okay? And this is the line material is nylon paracord, which is normal. And last but not least, we have the engine block here. Again, I'm the manufacturer, and I have a description here, what I want. I use the QQQ, material type bulk fiber. Okay, 0.65 makes sense. I'm going to make this a BT20 type engine block. So here's the inside of a uh, 18 millimeter tube with the BT20, and we want it to be a little bit smaller, 100,000 smaller, so 6.5, and we're going to make it a quarter of an inch, and that buys us the engine block. And we're going to save all this, and we're going to use it. Now you notice it doesn't matter what it's called, but I called it an ORC. This one is add part ORC. Okay, I thought I'd show you, make sure where you store this ORC. It's got to be in the correct place or it won't be used. And it's basically under your username, app data, roaming, open rocket components. Okay, and then you can see here's the thing we just added, and here's the add part ORC. I have a text file which is nothing more than a backup for it. It won't read that or the zip file or this text. The only thing it's going to read out of this directory is it'll read the ORC, and it will read multiple ORCs. Doesn't matter how many are in there. If it's got an ORC extension in this directory, it'll be read in when you start up, when you restart OR. So it only read when you start up OR. If you add it after the fact while it's still on, it's not going to update. You have to shut down and reload because it's only done on the initial load. Okay, finally, the moment of truth. We're going to start using those components. So let's start it. Let's try, let's do a body tube. Well, we say we're going to select from the database. And remember I put every one of them with the QQQ? And this is the reason why. So I could do this and find those, there's the two I just added. Okay, so you can see that they showed up. It makes it easy to find. Now, if you're doing it really and you're going to submit it to Dave Cook to be inserted permanently, you wouldn't want to do that. But for your own purposes to find something quickly that you just built that's only going to be on your custom library only, this is nice. So we're going to select that one, and there we go. 10 inches, yeah, it's a BT55. We're done. Okay, now we'll do a nose cone. We know a nose cone from the database. We'll see. Again, we'll do QQQ. Here we go. Do 1/6 and 1/8. We're going to choose the 6. Okay. And, but we'll move it up so it's at the top. Okay, that's fine. All right, now let's put the boat tail on it. Okay. So select from database and we're going to do QQ. And here's the one we just built. And you see, made the boat tail just like we wanted. Okay. We also had, what else did we add? We had centering ring. Oh, we need to put in a, let's see here. We need to put in a body, an internal tube to put the engine in, and we're going to make it BT20, but we only need it to be say 4 inches long. Well, no, we're going to make it longer because we're going to actually put it up here. We're going to make it like 8 inches long. Okay, and the reason why I did that is so that we can do the centering ring, which is, we all did. We did too. QQ, and there it is. And it goes here. And we want to move that up to say, oh, I don't know, say, oops, there. And then we're going to duplicate it and we'll edit that one. Edit. And we're going to move that one to, oh, say, here, see, there's our centering ring, 50 to 55. So we got all that done. Okay, so we did those. What else do we have? Well, we would like to have an engine block. So we'll put the engine block in here and we'll select from our database QQ, and there we go. And let's say, well, we're going to put it, oh, I don't know, let's say, we'll put it right here. Just so we can see it, we'll put it here. Okay, and then we'll put it, oh, we got that. What else did we have? Oh, we had launch load. Okay, let's choose from the database. See what I'm saying about this QQQ? That it made life just so interesting, so much easier. And see, there it goes. It's 6 inches long, and it's 3/8 of it. It's freaking huge, but it was just for demonstration purposes. So here we go. We got that. And, oh, parachute, didn't we? Also had a parachute. So let's do a parachute, and we'll select from our database, Q, this guy, and we'll put it here, and, and let's see here, move him down some, and there he goes. Let's see here, he has rip stop, which is what we said. The material, see, it's right here. We already got that done. Uh, drag, and ripcord. Okay, so because we didn't specify that material, so you ended up zero, but we could have. We can fix that by specifying that material, uh, and that will come up with a better number. But it doesn't matter because we can change the weight any way we want to anyway, so it makes no difference. So there you go. Let's see what else. I think that's all we needed to do. We've got them all. Right. Okay. So that's all of the things we just put in there. You can put pins on the thing and engine, and we'd be ready to rock and roll. As always, if there are any questions or people want any help with anything, just ask me and or ask a question in the Open Rocket forum. Somebody will answer it, or I will. I'm on it a lot, so I hope this helps somebody, and we'll catch you later. Bye.